Sadie Sink is officially coming back for Secret Wars. At least, that's what the almighty Deadline reported, and the internet immediately went full popcorn mode. Because if she's returning, that means Sadie is playing someone so important, her role doesn't just spill over one movie. It straight up leaks into the entire Spider-Man corner of the franchise. So who exactly is she playing? What else dropped about this mysterious new project? And seriously, when are we getting that 40-minute deep dive into Tom Holland's hair routine? Make yourselves comfortable. Things are about to get spicy. It's not every day that respectable outlets casually drop nuclear-level spoilers. Neither Sadie Sink nor Marvel have confirmed anything about her involvement. And the funniest part, the original article wasn't even about Marvel. It was about her joining a Romeo and Juliet stage production in London. But between the lines, Deadline just casually drops. Convenient timing for Sadie, since she'll also be filming an Avengers movie in London in 2026. Whether a Marvel sniper visited that editor afterwards, unknown, but the internet never forgets. Now we can say with confidence, Sadie Sink has a major role in the MCU. Some insiders even suspect she might appear in Doomsday, because its reshoots will also take place in London next year, perfectly overlapping with the expected wrap of the next Spider-Man movie. This lines up with why Tom Holland is currently missing from the main Doomsday cast list. Either he genuinely isn't in the movie, or Marvel will record all his scenes during those 2026 reshoots. Same logic applies to Sink. Spider-Man 4 is set for release in July next year, so the wait isn't that long. Now, the official info ends and we step onto the sacred land of rumors. Given that Sadie has a role in Avengers, it's pretty unlikely she's playing the Punisher's girlfriend, or some blink and you miss it background character. If you look at every insider report, there are only 3 characters who fit both Spider-Man and Avengers scale: Jean Grey, Firestar, and Mayday Parker, the daughter of Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. That last option sounds like someone cooked it up after inhaling a whole bag of chaos, but ironically, it has the most evidence behind it. The main source? Insider John Rocha, the guy who specializes in Spider-Man intel and was the first to correctly predict the appearance of Tombstone and Scorpion. He was also the first to claim that Sadie is playing Mayday Parker, who originally wanted more of a street-level role, and honestly, with Punisher and Damage Control in the movie, the film is leaning towards street-level storytelling. Mayday, however, brings enough multiverse spice to make Kevin Feige rub his hands together like he's about to drop a limited edition Funko Pop. Insiders say Sadie's character will stay secret not only until the premiere, but for most of the movie itself. In this brand new installment, the characters supposedly refer to her using a fake identity, only revealing the truth near the finale, smoothly bridging the story towards Secret Wars. This works for Mayday, but also fits Jean Grey and Firestar. So let's break them down one by one. First up, Firestar, aka Angelica Jones. She debuted in the 1981 Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends cartoon and is basically a walking microwave with emotional depth. You've seen videos where people throw random objects into microwaves just to watch them melt or explode? Yeah, that's Firestar's entire power set, except she can also fly. Then again, I've seen some microwaves vibrate hard enough to almost take off too. Her backstory is wild. Emma Frost tried to groom her into the perfect assassin, which did not go as planned because Firestar turned out to have an inconvenient trait, a conscience. She didn't join Professor X either. Instead, she took an independent path that eventually led her into the Avengers, a few other teams, and multiple crossovers. It's a fresh pick. She's never appeared in live action, she's easy to fit into a Spider-Man story, and Marvel wouldn't need to reinvent the wheel. That's why Firestar is currently the fan favorite candidate. Second place goes to Jean Grey. Recently, it was reported that Marvel wants Jean and Scott Summers to be the central faces of the next saga, and Sadie Sink is basically the most perfect real-world casting for Jean Grey since the invention of red hair. Fans have been screaming this fan cast into existence for years, but story-wise, it doesn't click neatly. Marvel plans to reboot the X-Men after Secret Wars with a brand new cast. If Sadie debuts earlier during the current saga, and then somehow jumps into the rebooted universe to join the New Mutants, casual viewers will be like, wait, what multiverse spaghetti am I eating right now? Marvel may want to avoid that confusion. Plus, Famke Janssen recently stated she's not appearing in Donde or Secret Wars. Many took this as a sign Marvel doesn't want Jean Grey competition for Sadie, but again, that's speculation dressed up in insider cosplay. The least likely, and yet ironically the most insider supported, option is Mayday Parker, the daughter of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. In the comics, Mayday Parker comes from Earth 982, where Peter and Mary Jane actually got married, though not exactly in a honeymoon mood since Spidey lost a leg fighting the Green Goblin and retired from superhero life. Mayday picked up the mantle, becoming the first Spider hero to headline a comic run that lasted a full 100 issues. To readers, she is Spider-Girl, practically the blueprint for the role. And why would the New Day, Doomsday's Russian working title, need Mayday? Well, that's simple. The movie is expected to feature a collision between Tobey Maguire's universe and another one, but Maguire's world doesn't have many surviving characters left, and half of them already popped up in No Way Home. So Mayday would be the perfect extra thread to enrich that universe instead of digging up yet another nostalgic cameo. The problem? Nobody has any idea how to logically insert her into the plot. Did she jump universes together with Tobey but somehow wasn't erased by Strange's spell? Did she track down a version of Doctor Strange in her own universe and ask for a make me hotter and send me somewhere fun portal wish? Did she slip through the multiverse cracks because she forgot to update her cosmic passport? Pick any explanation. None of them make sense, but all of them are weirdly funny. One thing is clear though, it would be wildly entertaining if Tom Holland's Spider-Man accidentally started flirting with Tobey Maguire's daughter, only to later discover the multiverse family tree smells a little too spicy for comfort. Marvel fans would explode, Twitter would combust, Reddit would open 400 new subreddits overnight. Of course, Marvel could go the simple route and just give Sadie the role of any other Spider-Woman variant. Jessica Drew, Julia Carpenter, Varenke. The comics have so many Spider ladies that Feige could throw a dart at a character chart and still land on something workable. Anyway, moving on to other news. Several reliable journalists report that Marvel is seriously planning to give Tom Holland more classic Spider-Man villains, specifically mentioned Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus. Marvel apparently wants Holland to go down in history as a Spider-Man with the most complete rogues gallery, and you can't achieve that without the absolute OGs. Sources say Marvel tested fan reactions to the animated series Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, teasing possible Norman Osborn introductions. Since Holland's Peter already knows that in another universe Norman is a full-blown supervillain, bringing Osborn into the MCU becomes a delightful headache. But it's doable. They could literally build a storyline where Holland's Peter constantly suspects Osborn of being evil and eventually causes him to become evil. A self-fulfilling prophecy with pumpkin bombs. Exactly the kind of chaotic poetry Marvel loves. And the same logic applies to Doc Ock. Marvel could also pull the sneaky route and introduce these villains under different names to throw fans off the scent. Who knows, maybe Zendaya will be the one turning into the Green Goblin. She was spotted on set with Tom Holland again, and this time insiders claimed it wasn't just a cute couple having lunch near the studio situation, she was actually on the filming grounds. And here's the real kicker. Disney's marketing department has already started booking Zendaya's wardrobe and hotel schedule for the promo tour of the new Spider-Man movie. Studios never do that for actors with tiny cameo roles, which means Zendaya is staying a major part of the story, and MJ absolutely has something to say in this next chapter, just like the Punisher. Speaking of him, new leaks dropped about his upcoming special which will premiere before the next Spider-Man. Insiders say the plot of the Punisher one-shot will directly tie into the New Day Doomsday. Specifically, thanks to Frank Castle's I'm doing my best I swear mayhem, several villains including Scorpion will escape prison. So, Spider-Man 4 will basically open with Peter Parker cleaning up the giant flaming trash pile the Punisher leaves behind. A very relatable New York experience, honestly. The Punisher special is reportedly based on the 2000 comic Welcome Back Frank, where Frank Castle absolutely loses his marbles and wipes out the entire New York mafia. But instead of peace, he creates a power vacuum, and suddenly every small-time goon in the city tries to become the next big boss. New York turns into a war zone. That's exactly where Spider-Man's movie picks up, which lines up perfectly with the leaked set photos showing wrecked streets, explosions, and literal tanks rolling through Manhattan. Frank tries to fix the mess, and Peter tries to fix Frank, who is accidentally making everything 10 times worse. And now, the cherry on top of this multiversal sundae. Another rumor says the events of the New Day and Doomsday happen at the same time. But New York is in such a flaming dumpster fire state that Peter simply has no time for multiverse drama. Between Punisher, Scorpion, Tombstone, and the entire criminal underworld having a meltdown, Parker supposedly misses the whole Doomsday situation entirely. Only at the end, possibly with Mayday Parker's help, he'll finally realize what's been happening in the larger MCU. And that ending is rumored to lead directly into Secret Wars, where Spider-Man will have a major role. Sadly, it looks like the long-awaited Battleworld solo movie, the one fans wanted so badly, isn't happening. Many hope Spider-Man 4 will take place in Battleworld to expand the Avengers storyline and show what life was like for ordinary people after the multiverse collapsed. But after all the delays, rewrites, and Doomsday shifting schedules, the plan fell apart. And even looking ahead, Spider-Man 5 wouldn't arrive until at least 2028, which means it will release after Secret Wars in a brand new universe. It's kinda depressing honestly. While Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is being slowly woven into Marvel's future plans like a vintage collectible rug, the situation with Andrew Garfield is absolute radio silence. Like someone unplugged the router ura 20 At this point it looks like the most Andrew can hope for is a cameo in Secret Wars, and even though naopshiwas namanya, which is a bummer, especially considering how fast the idea of Spider-Man 4 with Tobey is gaining momentum. But hey, there's still time. Garfield is only 42, practically a Gen Z teenager by Hollywood standards, and he's got at least 5 more years to play a relatively young Spider-Man before the knees start making that crunchy rice cracker sound. And let's not forget, Marvel scrapped the entire Kang dynasty out of nowhere. If that doesn't prove that anything in modern Marvel can change 5 minutes before the meeting ends, I don't know what will. So we wait, we cope, we believe. Maybe Marvel will still give Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man the closure he deserves. And of course, who do you think Sadie Sink is actually playing? Drop your wildest theories in the comments.